Welcome to day 104 of our school year. 76 school days left. Okay, let's get down our beginning fraction. We have a total of 180 school days. We are on day 104. Okay, let's find the factors of our numerator. Two factors we always know are 1 and the number itself. And using the commutative property of multiplication, we can also write it as 104 times 1. Now we're going to go through our divisibility rules, and we're going to go in order so we don't miss any factors. So after 1, we try 2, going in order. The rule for 2 is that it ends in an even number. 4 is even, so 2 is a factor. Can't do half of 1, but it can do half of 10. 10 tens, half of that would be 5 tens, and then half of 4 would be 2. So next, I try the rule for 3. The rule for 3 is that we add the digits together. 1 plus 0 plus 4 equals 5. So 5 is not a multiple of 3, so 3 is not a factor. Next we try 4. The rule for 4 is that the last two digits are multiples of 4. The last two digits would be 4. 4 is a multiple of 4, so 4 is a factor. Also, the second factor with 2 is even, so that's another way to look at it. Okay, I can get 24s out of 100. That would be 80. And then I'd have 24, and that would be 6. Okay, next we try 5. The rule for 5 is that it ends in a 0 or 5. It does not end in either one, so 5 is not a factor. We try 6. The rule for 6 is that both 2 and 3 are factors. 2 is, but 3 is not, so 6 is not a factor. We try 7. 7 times 10 is 70, 77, 84, 91, 98, 105. 104 is not in that list, so 7 is not a factor. We try 8. 8 times 10 is 80, 88, 96, 104. 8 times, well, I can get 10 eighths out of 100, because that would be 80, and then there's 24, so that's 3. So I just have to try the counting numbers between 8 and 13. So next we try 9. The rule for 9 is the same as 3. We add the digits together and get 5. 5 is not a multiple of 9, so 9 is not a factor. We try 10. The rule for 10 is that it ends in a 0. It ends in a 4, so 10 is not a factor. We try 11. 11 times 9 is 99, and then 110. 104 is not in that list, so that means that 11 is not a factor. Let's see. 12 times 5 is 60, 72, 84, 96, 108. 104 is not in that list, so 12 is not a factor. And we get to 13, we're done. Also, 13 is prime. When we've gone in order and our second factor is prime, we're done, because it won't break down anymore. So let's list our factors from least to greatest. 1, 2, 4, 8, 13, 26, 52, 104. So we have 8 factors. That is more than 2 factors, so it is composite. Now we want to find our greatest common factor. Well, with 76 days left, 104 won't work. So let's look at 52. Now your groups do not have to look like mine, but they must have 52 in each. And you want to keep the shaded separated from the unshaded. So I have 5 tens and 2 ones makes 52. 8 and 4 tens makes 48. 49, 50, 51, 52. Your shaded should always work with it, because it is a factor for the shaded part. Now we have to see if it is for the whole thing. So we have 6 plus 4 is 46, plus 4 more is 50, plus 2 is 52. And we have 24 left over, so that means that 52 is not our greatest common factor. Now let's try 26. (20 plus 6) 4 plus 20 plus 2. 8 plus 10 is 18 plus 8 is 26. 2 plus 20 is 22 plus 4 is 26. 6 plus 20. 20 plus 6. And I have 24 left over. If I just had 2 more days, it would work. But 24, not enough to make another group. So that means 26 is not a common factor. Let's try 13. (10 and 3). 7 and 6. 4 and 9. 1 and 2 is 11. I'm sorry, 10 is 11 plus 2 is 13. 8 and 5. 5 and 8. 2 plus 10 plus 1. 9 plus 4. 6 plus 7. 3 plus 10. 10 plus 3. 7 plus 6. 4 plus 9. And I have 11 left over. So again, if I had 2 more, this would work. So 13, not our greatest common factor. Let's try 8. So I'm going to cut 2 off of each of these, because 10 take away 2 is 8. Two times 4 is 8. Okay. So here, 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay. 2 times 4, and I have 4 left over, so that means 8 is not our greatest common factor. Okay, let's try groups of 4. I'm going to use perfect squares, except for this one here, called perfect squares because they make a square. Each side is the same length. 2 times 2 is 4. So when you have the same factors, you end up with a perfect square. Make sure you keep your shaded separated from your unshaded. All right, 4 worked. We found our greatest common factor. So let's count up our total groups of 4. The way I made my groups, I have 5 groups of 4 in each row, so I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So there are 45 groups of 4 in 180. Now in the shaded area, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26. 26 groups of 4 are shaded in. Okay, now that I've done my math, my division with my model, now I'm going to use my algorithm to prove it in a different way. Because if you can do a problem in more than one way and get the same answer, you can be pretty certain that answer is correct. So I'm going to divide 180 by 4 and 104 by 4. I know 4 quarters makes $1 or 100 cents. So 4 times 25 is 100. Numbers the same, zeros a game. More on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, zeros a game. 10 times 4 is 40. Numbers the same, zeros a game. More on top, no need to stop. 10 times 4 is 40. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Add our partial quotients, 25, 35, 45. Okay, over here I know 4 quarters makes $1 or 100 cents. 4 times 25 is 100. More on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Numbers the same, zeros a game. 1 times 4 is 4. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Add these together. 25 plus 1 is 26. Now we need to check our answers with our inverse operation. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Now since our remainder is 0 for both, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, I don't need to take time to add the 0. 4 groups of 5 is 20, so we put the 2 in the tens and the 0 in the ones because it's 2 tens. 4 groups of 4 tens is 16 tens plus 2 more tens is 18 tens. 4 groups of 6 ones is 24 ones, so the 2 in 20 goes in the tens place. 4 groups of 2 tens is 8 tens plus 2 more tens is 10 tens, or 100. Okay, 104, that matches our dividend up here, so that checks. 180, that matches our dividend up here, so that checks. So our numerator is definitely 26, and our denominator is definitely 45. All right, let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. Okay, trimester 2, week 10. Today's date is 2/4/2020, and our fraction for today is 26/45. Okay, we did groups of 4. Let's go ahead and get out our number line. Groups of 4, our last one we have is 23/45. So we need to get down 24/45, which is equivalent to 48/90, which is equivalent to 16/30, which is equivalent to 8/15, which is our simplest form for that number. Okay, and then we have 25/45, which is equivalent to 5/9. That's the simplest form, or equivalent fraction in lowest terms. Okay, and then today is 26/45. There are no lines lined up directly below it because it is our simplest form, or equivalent fraction in lowest terms. But we do have a line above it because there is an equivalent fraction in the 2's. 2 is a common factor, but 4 is our greatest common factor. Okay, let's go ahead and put our number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.